2023 National Electrical Code, Section 230.72, mandates that all service disconnecting means must be grouped together in a single location. This location is generally understood to be at the building's main service entrance. This requirement is in place to provide a convenient and easily accessible point for disconnecting the service, which is essential for safety and maintenance procedures. Prior to the 2011 National Electrical Code, specifically in the 2008 National Electrical Code under Section 230.40, Exception 3, there was an allowance for a second disconnect to be installed at a detached building serving a single-family dwelling. However, this exception was removed when the 2011 National Electrical Code was introduced. The reasoning behind the removal of this exception was to streamline the service disconnect requirements and to enhance overall safety by consolidating all disconnects into one single, readily identifiable location. As of the 2011 National Electrical Code and continuing through the current 2023 National Electrical Code, the prevailing regulation is that all service disconnects for a single-family dwelling must be installed together at the main service entrance. This eliminates the option of having a disconnect located at the primary building and a separate disconnect at a detached or secondary building. The primary goal is to ensure that in the event of an emergency or for routine maintenance, there is a single, easily located point where the electrical service to the entire dwelling can be disconnected. Understanding the evolution of the National Electrical Code requirements for service disconnects is critical for ensuring compliance and, more importantly, promoting electrical safety. While older installations might have been compliant under previous code versions, any new installations or modifications must adhere to the current code, which mandates the grouping of all service disconnects at the main service entrance. This applies specifically to single-family dwellings to avoid confusion and potential hazards associated with multiple disconnect locations. Let's delve a bit deeper into the specifics of what constitutes a service disconnect and its function within an electrical system. A service disconnect is essentially a switch or a circuit breaker that is used to isolate the entire electrical system of a building or structure from the utility's electrical supply. It acts as the main control point for the electrical service and is intended to be used in situations where the electrical supply needs to be cut off, such as during maintenance, repairs, or in the event of an emergency like a fire or flooding. The National Electrical Code sets forth specific requirements for the type of disconnect that can be used, its rating, and its location. The disconnect must be suitably rated for the electrical load it is intended to interrupt, and it must be readily accessible to authorized personnel. The requirement that all service disconnects be grouped together at the main service entrance stems from the need to provide a clear and unambiguous way to de-energize the entire electrical system. In situations where there are multiple buildings or structures on a single property, each supplied by the same service, the National Electrical Code typically requires a separate disconnect for each building or structure. However, these disconnects must all be located together at the main service entrance to comply with the grouping requirement. There are specific exceptions to this rule, such as in the case of large industrial complexes or multi-building facilities where it may not be practical to group all disconnects at a single location. However, these exceptions are typically subject to stringent requirements and are often reviewed on a case-by-case basis by the local electrical inspector. The location of the service disconnect is also closely tied to the grounding and bonding requirements of the National Electrical Code. The grounding electrode system, which provides a path for fault current to return to the source, is typically connected to the service disconnect enclosure. This ensures that in the event of a ground fault, the fault current will flow back to the source, causing the overcurrent protective device, such as a circuit breaker or fuse, to trip and energize the circuit. The bonding of all metallic components within the electrical system is also essential for safety. Bonding ensures that all metallic parts are at the same electrical potential, which minimizes the risk of electric shock. The National Electrical Code specifies the methods and materials that must be used for grounding and bonding, and these requirements must be carefully followed to ensure a safe and reliable electrical system. In summary, the National Electrical Code requirement that all service disconnects be grouped together at the main service entrance is a critical safety measure. It provides a clear and unambiguous way to energize the entire electrical system, and it is closely tied to the grounding and bonding requirements of the National Electrical Code. While older installations might have been compliant under previous code versions, any new installations or modifications must adhere to the current code to ensure the safety of people and property. It is also important to note that the National Electrical Code is updated every 3 years, so it is essential to stay up to date on the latest changes. The National Electrical Code is not law, but it is widely adopted by state and local jurisdictions, and it serves as the basis for most electrical codes. Therefore, compliance with the National Electrical Code is essential for ensuring the safety and legality of electrical installations. When dealing with electrical installations, particularly service disconnects, it's always recommended to consult with a qualified and licensed electrician. They possess the expertise to interpret the National Electrical Code accurately and apply it to specific situations, ensuring code compliance and safety. Electrical work can be dangerous, and improper installations can lead to serious consequences, including electric shock, fire, and property damage. Therefore, it's crucial to prioritize safety and seek professional assistance when necessary. Furthermore, local jurisdictions may have additional requirements or amendments to the National Electrical Code, so it's important to be aware of these local regulations as well. Your local electrical inspector can provide guidance on these local requirements and ensure that your electrical installation meets all applicable codes and standards. In addition to the location and grouping requirements, the National Electrical Code also specifies the type of service disconnect that can be used. The most common types of service disconnects are circuit breakers and switches. Circuit breakers are automatic devices that trip and interrupt the circuit when an overcurrent or short circuit occurs. Switches, on the other hand, are manually operated devices that can be used to disconnect the service. The National Electrical Code specifies the minimum ampacity rating of the service disconnect, which is based on the calculated load of the building or structure. The ampacity rating must be sufficient to handle the maximum current that the electrical system is likely to draw. The service disconnect must also be readily accessible, meaning that it must be located in a place where it can be easily reached without the need to climb over obstacles or use tools. The National Electrical Code also requires that the service disconnect be clearly labeled to indicate its purpose. This helps to prevent confusion and ensures that the correct disconnect is used in an emergency. In summary, the National Electrical Code sets forth comprehensive requirements for service disconnects covering their location, grouping, type rating, and accessibility. These requirements are designed to ensure the safety and reliability of electrical systems and to prevent electrical hazards. When working with electrical installations, it's crucial to be familiar with these requirements and to follow them carefully. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it's always best to seek professional assistance if you're not sure how to proceed. The National Electrical Code is a complex and ever-evolving document, and it's important to stay up to date on the latest changes. By understanding and following the National Electrical Code, you can help to ensure the safety of people and property and prevent electrical accidents. Let's also consider the practical implications of these code requirements in different scenarios. For instance, in a typical single-family dwelling with a detached garage or workshop, the service disconnect for both the house and the detached structure must be located together at the main service entrance, which is usually at the house. This means that you cannot have a separate disconnect for the garage or workshop at its own location. Instead, you would need to run a feeder circuit from the main service entrance to the detached structure, and the disconnect for the feeder circuit would also need to be located at the main service entrance. In some cases, it may be necessary to install a subpanel in the detached structure to provide additional circuits. However, the main disconnect for the subpanel must still be located at the main service entrance. There are some exceptions to this rule, such as in the case of agricultural buildings or structures that are used for commercial purposes. However, these exceptions are typically subject to specific requirements and are often reviewed on a case-by-case basis by the local electrical inspector. In addition to the location requirements, the National Electrical Code also specifies the type of wiring methods that can be used for service conductors. Service conductors are the wires that run from the utilities transformer to the service disconnect. The National Electrical Code requires that service conductors be installed in rigid metal conduit, intermediate metal conduit, or electrical metallic tubing. These wiring methods provide physical protection for the service conductors and help to prevent damage from mechanical stress or environmental factors. The National Electrical Code also specifies the minimum size of the service conductors, which is based on the calculated load of the building or structure. The service conductors must be large enough to carry the maximum current that the electrical system is likely to draw. In addition to the service conductors, the National Electrical Code also specifies the requirements for the grounding electrode system. The grounding electrode system provides a path for fault current to return to the source, which helps to prevent electric shock. The National Electrical Code requires that the grounding electrode system be connected to a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod, a metal water pipe, or a concrete encased electrode. The National Electrical Code also specifies the size and type of grounding electrode conductor, which is the wire that connects the grounding electrode to the service disconnect. In summary, the National Electrical Code sets forth comprehensive requirements for service entrances, covering the service disconnect, the service conductors, and the grounding electrode system. These requirements are designed to ensure the safety and reliability of electrical systems and to prevent electrical hazards. When working with electrical installations, it's crucial to be familiar with these requirements and to follow them carefully. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it's always best to seek professional assistance if you're not sure how to proceed. The National Electrical Code is a complex and ever-evolving document, and it's important to stay up to date on the latest changes. By understanding and following the National Electrical Code, you can help to ensure the safety of people and property and prevent electrical accidents.